pa ndondomeko ya malo otetezeka ngati ya World Heritage Status. Tsono pakati pa boma la Blantyre ndi phiri la Mulanje pali minda yambiri ya tii yomwe ili m'boma la Thyolo. Mbewu ya tii yalimbidwa mdziko muno kuyambira mzaka za 1908 ndipo minda yake imaoneka mopatsa chidwi kwambiri makamaka ngati ukuona kuchokera mlengalenga.
We bring you our latest lunch edition of MBC News, and you're with me, Evelyn Chingambi. Our top stories.
President Jaguera to preside over the official opening of the first National Children's Summit on Climate Justice in Lilongwe tomorrow. Ministry of Local Government lauds traditional leaders for spearheading development at grassroots level. And in sports, high prospects on the 2022 Region 5 Youth Games as a catalyst for promotion of Malawi sports tourism.
Glad you could join us. Now the news in detail. President Jaguera will preside over the official opening of the first National Children's Summit on Climate Justice and launch of the National Generation Hope campaign at the Bingu International Convention Center, PICC, in Lilongwe tomorrow. The Office of the President and Cabinet says the function will start at 9 o'clock in the morning. At least 17 foreign envoys have presented their letters of credence to President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera with a pledge to help Malawi in various sectors, including energy, mining, and trade. The 17 have presented their letters to the Malawi leader at the Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. Beatrice Mape has more in this report.
The president had a busy schedule as 17 envoys presented their letters of credence at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. One by one, the envoys arrived at the palace to present their letters and assure Malawi of their continued working relationship in various areas of the economy. Speaking after presenting her letters of credence, Ambassador of Netherlands said Malawi and Netherlands have a long-standing relationship on a number of issues. She said water utilities in her country have expertise that can be transferred to Malawi water utilities as one way of improving their service delivery. She also said banks in Netherlands are already working closely with banks in Malawi on access to financial services by smallholder farmers.
As the Netherlands, I would say we stand out in terms of water utilities, and we have a program called Water Works in which utilities from the Netherlands with a lot of expertise provide technical assistance to water utilities here in Malawi.
The Danish government has been supporting Malawi with medical supplies, including vaccines, and Malawi has been exporting raw tobacco and coffee to Denmark. In his remarks, Danish ambassador to Malawi, Ole Tonk, said the renewed relationship hopes to strengthen this relationship. Tonk says Denmark, being the largest producers of wind turbines, will bring Danish investors in the country to help Malawi improve the country's energy sector through renewable energy and solar.
I discussed with the President the possibilities for Danish investors to invest in Malawi, especially in the area of renewable energy, where Denmark is a world-leading producer of wind turbines. But we also have investors very interested in exploiting the opportunities in solar energy in Malawi.
For Algeria, Malawi is expected to continue reaping benefits as the country has been exporting tobacco in excess of $1.43 million by 2020. After presenting his letters of credence, new Algerian ambassador to Malawi, Mohamed Mozian, said his government will work collaboratively with Malawi to advance agriculture, education, trade and mining.
You know, in our African continent, Algeria and Malawi are among the major actors in advancing the agenda of the African Union. I can say that our countries can defending and promoting the African interest and values.
As for Stefan Rey of Switzerland, that country's 2018-2022 strategy has been working with Malawi in agriculture and food security to improve seed production techniques and links to markets, as well as nutrition and disaster reduction. Sudan and Malawi also enjoy a cordial relationship around trade after signing a multi-million flour and cereal trade deal. Malawi is also expected to benefit from the renewed relations with Saudi Arabia, since it is one of the largest producers of oil and gas. Other envoys that have also presented letters include those from Belgium, Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, Burundi, Czech Republic, Hellenic Republic, Mauritania, Republic Union of Myanmar, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Finland, and Republic of Congo. Beatrice Mwabe, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Global Fund has handed over 41 utility vehicles to the government of Malawi through the Ministry of Health. Global Fund Senior Portfolio Manager Ocean Jones says the vehicles are meant to help address mobility challenges for enhanced primary level health service delivery in hard-to-reach areas. From Lilongwe, Margaret Mabando reports.
Transportation is an important social determinant of health in rural communities and hard-to-reach areas. As part of efforts to complement government in improving the health sector, Global Fund is expanding mobile clinics to accommodate those that cannot access health facilities. Global Fund Senior Portfolio Manager Ocean Jones says availability of reliable transportation impacts a person's ability to access quality and appropriate health care.
The district hospitals in particular have now got the kind of transportation facilities that are really needed to be able to coordinate and to reach the most difficult to reach parts of the country. So I think this is the consideration. That in turn will really help with the coordination of the national response, both now and into the future.
Director of Health and Social Services for Rumpi District Council, Western Nyirenda, is one of the beneficiaries, and he says the utility vehicles will help ease transportation challenges since most of their clients are located in hard-to-reach areas.
We assure the community and the Honourable Minister that we are going to make use of these vehicles. These vehicles will be used for the intended purpose, and we're going to ensure that we maintain them regularly so that we sustain the durability.
Minister of Health Kumbize Kandodo Chiponda commended Global Fund for the gesture, saying it is a timely push to COVID-19 and polio vaccination exercises, as well as administering ARTs to rural and hard-to-reach areas.
Most importantly is that as a ministry, we are pushing the integrated services, whereby when you go to one area, you want to make sure that you have all the services. You have HIV supplies, you have TB supplies, you have family planning supplies, you have vaccination supplies, so that you can achieve, killing 4 birds with just one vehicle, which is very, very important. But most importantly is that the vehicles, they are very comfortable, even for our workers. So we are very happy with the timely coming of these vehicles.
The 41 utility vehicles, valued at about 1.3 billion kwacha, have been distributed to all 28 districts of the country. Margaret Mapando, MBC, Lilongwe.
The Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture has expressed its satisfaction with the impact that the Agriculture Commercialization AGCOM project is having on Malawians. The committee's Vice Chairperson, Ole Mujila Bondwa, was speaking in Rumpi during a visit to a number of projects in the northern region. George Nkandawire reports.
Touring some agribusiness groups in Rumpi, Mzimba and Nkarabe districts, the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture, led by its Vice Chairperson Ole Mujila Bondwa, said it is encouraging to note that farmers have welcomed the project by initiating a number of value chains and producing on a large scale. Some of the cooperatives visited by the committee include Poga Coffee Growers Cooperative in Rumpi, Mzuzu Livestock Cooperative, who are into piggery business, Nkwali Beekeepers Association, and Kamuzu View Fish Cooperative, among others. According to the committee, it is pleasing to note that members of such cooperatives are transforming their lives and communities.
We actually have heard from the farmers themselves to say their lives at the household level have actually improved because of these grants. But at the same time, the farmers also told us about some of the challenges that they meet.
The cooperatives, however, told the committee that they are facing a number of challenges, from low prices to shortage of feed for their livestock.
If vending can be controlled, hopefully the figure of production can double. But some of the coffee is going to neighboring countries like Tanzania. So we are failing on our own to control that situation.
If we go to the maize mill, we find that the Tanzania people, they have already paid the money to the shellers. So to find there, we can just find maybe 2 tins or 3 tins or just a bag.
On his part, Agicom National Coordinator Ted Nankumwa said the project continued to unlock the country's agricultural potential.
The impact is visible, and the members of parliament are also happy to have seen the impact on the ground. We've established a lot of, the productive alliances that we've wanted to establish. As we talk now, we already have 255 productive alliances on the ground. These are implementing. We've already disbursed about $18.2 million already committed. And the beautiful thing is that the farmers themselves have also made some contribution.
Agicom is focusing on emerging commercial farmers and serious commercial farmers apart from the usual smallholder farmers. George Nkandawire, MBC, Rompi.
The Ministry of Local Government values the role traditional leaders play in spearheading developmental activities at grassroots level. Deputy Minister for the Ministry, Halima Daude, said this at St. Martin's School Ground in Mangochi during elevation of 4 chiefs that were approved by President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. Davy Omar with a report.
Multitude of people gathered at St. Martin's School Ground in Mangochi to witness the elevation of 4 chiefs who have now been tasked with more responsibilities in areas of their jurisdiction. During the event, Sifat Bakari, Cuthbert Jonanga, and Kalowa Saudene have been elevated to sub-traditional authorities, while Amina Hussein is now traditional authority Nterera. Speaking after presiding over the elevation ceremony, Deputy Minister of Local Government, Halima Daudi, said government recognizes the role traditional leaders play, hence the move to elevate them.
Just passing on the message from the President to the Lazarus Chakwera that he's wishing them all the best, and they should work, and they should make sure that they should desist from corruption, make sure that the youth, the girl child should go back to school, and also they should make sure that there's development happening in their areas. This is what we want as government.
In his remarks, Paramount Chief Kawinga bemoaned a tendency of greed and abuse of power among some Yao chiefs. He said this is taking away the respect people have among the Yao people.
Many people were coming to marry our Yao women because of their respect, but because some chiefs are engaging in corrupt practices, greed and abuse of power, this is taking away the pride people had among Yao people.
Senior Chief Joe extended his appreciation to the Deputy Minister for her untiring efforts to work with chiefs in the country. Notable faces present during the function were Presidential Advisor on Chiefs, Moses Kunkuyu, Presidential Advisor on Religious Affairs, Sheikh Abbas, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, government representatives, and chiefs. Dave Umar, MBC News, Mangochi.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories.
President Chakwera to preside over the official opening of the first National Children's Summit on Climate Justice in Lilongwe tomorrow. Ministry of Local Government lauds traditional leaders for spearheading development at grassroots level. And in sports, high prospects on the 2022 Region 5 Youth Games as a catalyst for promotion of Malawi's sports tourism.
Welcome back. The Minister of Water and Sanitation, Abida Mia, has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring that people in rural areas have access to clean and safe water. Mia has made the remarks in Nkata Bay. She was speaking when she toured some projects in the northern region, by the Northern Region Water Board. Chisomo Manda with the details.
Among the projects the minister toured is the Nkata Bay Water Treatment Plant, which upon completion is expected to keep about 18,000 cubic liters. According to the Northern Region Water Board, the project, which is expected to be completed by February next year, will take the next 40 years before conducting any upgrading works. Mia then toured the newly constructed solid waste management facility, which will soon be handed over to Nkata Bay District Council before proceeding to the construction works of the new NRWB offices in the district. Speaking after the tour, the minister said it is the wish of the Tose-led administration to see to it that even people living in rural areas have access to clean water.
We've also installed we will install 5,000 new meters for the people in the area under the same project. The Northern Region Water Board has planted 400,000 seedlings along the Nkata River to protect the catchment area that is going into the lake.
In his remarks, Director of Operations at Northern Region Water Board, Asman Ungwe, says the project is progressing well.
From the time the works resumed after the suspension, the progress is very good. And from the look of things, we are on track to have the works completed and commissioned by February 2023.
Upon completion, the water supply and sanitation project is expected to benefit about 150,000 residents in Nkata Bay District and other surrounding areas. The project is expected to finish in February 2023. Chisomo Manda, MBC News, Nkata Bay.
The Ministry of Education has signed a 10-year agreement with Open Connect Limited to connect 8,000 secondary schools in the country to internet. The development will enhance access to various electronic learning facilities, including electronic libraries. Speaking during the signing of the agreement in Lilongwe, Secretary for Education, Jogondano Musa, said the move will significantly reduce the problem of shortage of learning resources like textbooks. Musa explains.
What this agreement entails is that in education we'll have enhanced e-learning services through connectivity of our schools. Schools are going to be connected to internet. We are going to have e-libraries. We are going to have internet hubs in all our schools. Also, what this is going to do is that digitalization of education is going to be made possible, and digitizing our curriculum materials will be possible. What this will do is that there will be no more barriers. There will be no more limitations. Like, for example, if we say, of course, in the olden days, we'd be saying the student textbook ratios are very high. Like in secondary schools, for example, we've had student textbook ratios of up to 1 to 25. One science textbook to 25. Of course, of late we have both at 1 to 1, but for science subjects. But for other subjects, we remain high.
And in his remarks, Chief Executive Officer of Open Connect Limited, Sandile Lomo, said his company has the capacity to deliver as it's per agreement with the government.
Fortunately for Open Connect, we have been doing this for a number of years. If you look around in the country, most of the connectivity, whether on the internet or even the calls that you make with your mobile phone and the websites that you visit, in one way or the other, they go through our environment. So ours is to say it is not enough for such connectivity to be restricted to the corporate offices, to the homes and so on. We need to extend it to where it is needed most, where it will benefit the children at schools. So the capacity, the question of capacity, we have abundance of capacity. It is more than enough to allow us to roll out, obviously at stages, to a point that we are able to connect all the schools.
To Apunzitse project with CRECOM, which CRECOM, in collaboration with Christian Blind Mission CBM, have been implementing in Zomba, Mulanje and Nsanje, has been commended for increasing the enrollment of early grade literacy of learners with disabilities. Through the project, over 926 teachers and caregivers have been capacitated on inclusive education, and 1,984 children with disabilities have been put in school. Christian Blind Mission International Chief Executive Officer Dr. Reina Brockhaus visited Namachete Primary School in Zomba District to appreciate the project, and he expressed satisfaction with the impact of the project.
yakhala yotheka chifukwa chonena kuti tagwira limodzi ndi anzathu aboma a Minister of Education amene anali pakati pathu, komanso mahedi amene ali kusukulu kuno mothandizananso ndi amagrupu ndi amene atithandiza makamakanso mafumu chifukwa ndi amene amatenga ndithu mbali kuwalimbikitsa anthu kumamidzi kuja kuti asamatsekere ana mu nyumba koma adzibwera nawo ndithu kusukulu. Ndi ngati ma CPCC amene ife takhala tikupanga sapoti, taona ndithu chiwerengero cha ana ochuluka chimene chakhala chikubwera kusukulu kumene kuku chifukwa chonena kuti mandika mtsogolomo potential ilipo ndithu yonena kuti ana amene wakhoza kupanga zinthu zazikulu. Tili ndi zitsanzo zambirimbiri inunso mwaona anthu angapo mwina ali ndi ulumali koma.
In her remarks, Executive Director for CRECOM, Alinafe Jibwana, commended the chiefs and parents for the crucial role they have played in encouraging parents who have children with disabilities to take their children to school. And now in sports, as the countdown continues to the Region 5 Youth Games to be staged in Lilongwe this December, the Malawi National Council of Sports has expressed its desire to break last year's record, where Malawi won 29 medals in Lesotho. Meanwhile, the local organizing committee says the event will contribute towards sports tourism and change the face of the country. Yamigani Simutowe with the details.
Last year, Regional 5 Youth Games were staged in Maseru, Lesotho, where Malawi won 2 gold medals, 17 silver and 10 bronze medals. Now, the 10th edition of the Regional 5 Youth Games takes place in Malawi from 2nd to 11th December. Young boys and girls below the age of 20 will compete in 12 sporting disciplines, including basketball, football, netball, volleyball, boxing, swimming, athletics, lawn tennis, taekwondo, judo, and e-sports. These games will be staged in the country for the very first time, and the Malawi National Council of Sports hopes that Malawi's flag carriers will utilize home ground advantage to surpass last year's record. Spokesperson for Malawi National Council of Sports, Edgar Ntulumba, says the council started preparing the teams in June with last camp training scheduled for this November.
Winning 29 medals last year was a very big achievement, and if we surpass that achievement this year, because we are hosting the games, I think it will also be a big achievement. So the target is to make sure that we surpass the 29 medals that we won in Lesotho last year.
Meanwhile, the local organizing committee says preparations for the entire event are progressing well. Spokesperson for the committee, John Kaputa, says they have already started equipping officials handling different sporting disciplines with technical knowledge and skills in readiness for the event. He says the fixtures and the program for entire event will be issued this month end.
We would like people to have 1 month information in advance to see I will do the boxing on this date, I will play tennis on this date, I will do the judo on this date, I will do the taekwondo on this date. So the draw will take place on 29th of October for all the team sports.
On business aspect, Kaputa says the event will contribute towards sports tourism, thereby bringing the much needed forex. He also says the games are a window for teams and players to secure qualification for other major tournaments in the region and beyond.
Industry of sport is going to grow during this period. Let me mention that now sport is an industry. It can make the country change its face.
However, Ntulumba calls on local fans to largely patronize the games and support Malawian athletes come December. Region 5 Youth Games member states are Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Yamigani Simtowe, MBC Sport.
And that item concludes this lunch edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories.
President Jaguera to preside over the official opening of the first National Children's Summit on Climate Justice in Lilongwe tomorrow. Ministry of Local Government lauds traditional leaders for spearheading development at grassroots level. And in sports, high prospects on the 2022 Region 5 Youth Games as a catalyst for promotion of Malawi's sports tourism.
For more news, visit mbc.mw. I am Evelis Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
Sompenya Malawi wa kula Malawi 2063 Ufika 2063 akale Wokomera aliyensi Achinyamata tigwirane manja kula Malawi Achinyamata tikale patsogolo kula Malawi 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 wozimira baeka Malawi Malawi wokomera aliyensi Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.